Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collinsville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. Purple and white, but you know what I mean. Double 11 senior year made history. Football, we took it to the playoffs. Collinsville, white and purple, yeah, we are the K-House. I said the K-House, the school of champions. We laugh a lot, we rap a lot. I'm asked to be an Indian again. I'm telling them that Collinsville is where it's at. So when we on the field of court, they better be aware of that. They scared of that. Of course, look at the ceiling. What up, Mr. Floyd? Yeah, it's Collinsville. And yes, I'm glad to say that I'm a K-Hawk. I'm about to graduate. Yeah, you know what it is. Collinsville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
White and purple, yeah, I know you see it. You see the chaos and you tell yourself you wanna be it. I go to CHS, so I am a champ. I ran this game so long I'm starting to get a stomach cramp. Class of 1, 2, but we're number 1. Shout out to all my juniors, yeah, you know we get it done. White and purple, you already know. It's little easy peasy and that boy lay low.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collinsville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
I'm by my white and purple, Scarface and DJ Screw. We on the peak of the mountain, best at what we do. Yeah, we the champs, homie, but we ain't selling shoes. These boys bleeding purple, call us the chiefin' crew. They don't gotta do it big, cause I don't play with sports. I play my cards right. Now a good report. When Dub 12 comes, it's time to roll off. I'm in the back cause everybody rolling with me, K-Hawks.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Look, all the freshmen, sophomores,
High school champions.
yeah, they know what it is.
All around my town, everything is
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
we shut it down for the school and the sports team.
White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
Yeah, you know what it is. Collinsville High School, a champions. Yeah, screaming that's us. And when we on top, boy, quit fussing. All around my town, everything is white and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple. We shut it down for the school and the sports team. White and purple, white and purple, white and purple, white and purple.
And a very good afternoon, everyone, as we welcome you to Camelot Bowl here in Collinsville as we get you set for some K-Hawk bowling action as your Collinsville K-Hawks get ready to take on the O'Fallon Panthers. They have the boys and the girls, the junior varsity and the varsity here, and today we are here to cover the varsity boys, but the girls will be right next door, so we will, of course, keep an eye on them as well. My name is Todd Duke. Glad that you're with us here on the K-Hawk Sports Network as we welcome you into our final bowling broadcast of the year. And we welcome you into the Chiropractic Works pregame show. Chiropractic Works in Collinsville, owned and operated by Dr. Chris McCluskey. He and his crew are focused on helping as many people as possible live high-quality lives all through chiropractic care and wellness. You can visit Dr. McCluskey at Chiropractic Works in Collinsville at 410 Regency Center, just off of the Beltline Road in Collinsville, or you can give them a call at 343-3602. Well, looking at the boys' side of things here tonight, we have Collinsville taking on O'Fallon, and the Southwestern Conference crown has already been won by the O'Fallon Panthers. They come into this contest with an overall record of 10-0, while Collinsville holds down second place with a record right now of 7-2. Joining us now on the pregame show is Collinsville head coach Sean Hay. Coach, it's been a while. First of all, how were your holidays?
Pretty busy. We had several tournaments. We placed in all of them, but couldn't come away with the first. So we fell a little short of plans, but the format of most of these tournaments was Baker, and so a lot can happen in just 2 Baker games. Without going into a lot of complex details,
yeah, I was going to say,
things happen.
Don't make my head explode.
No, I'm not going to.
All right, before we get to the boys who are here to follow tonight, talk to us about the girls and their season thus far.
The girls that started off the season or the year pretty hot. We hit a little bit of a lull period, just trying to work through our lineup and who goes where. And we're starting to trend right back in the right direction, all the while still maintaining a decent record. So it's one of those things where, with a young team, you're going to hit those hills and valleys in the season. Very expected, and right now we're starting to all get back on the same page, kind of like what we started the season with.
Now, with the boys having their last regular season match before their postseason gets underway on Saturday, how much interaction and time can you spend with the girls once the boys are in postseason?
Well, it's actually a little bit easier because the boys, at this point, they are what they are. Any modifications we make will be just tweaks, and then so practices are pretty much lane play driven, whereas with the girls, the lane play stuff, you can keep a little bit of eye on things, but at the end of the day, the girls I'll be able to work a little bit more mechanical with. And so we're going to have that last bit of the season when the boys' season is over, 3 weeks of just really working dedicated to the girls.
All right, so let's switch over to the boys now. This is their last regular season match of the year, and you close out the home schedule here against O'Fallon. And the playoffs already start on Saturday. So tell me, what is it you're looking for from your guys today, knowing that, there's no chance to get the Southwestern Conference crown away from O'Fallon. So what do you want to see out of them today before they head to Salem on Saturday?
I want to see a win. Winning is a habit. And so we'd like to see us win today. That's obviously the goal every time we hit the lanes, no matter what the situation. But it's one of those things that O'Fallon's had decent teams over the years and have been one of our fiercest rivals. So we like to get a win against a rival anytime we can.
Yeah, and O'Fallon seems to be one of those rivals that you have a hard time getting a win against. Any reason why?
Most recently, yeah, they've really had a lot of talent, to be fair. They've got a lot of kids that went and transitioned right into the college game, and so they've had a lot of talent for sure.
All right, tell me a little bit about what the format looks like on Saturday. How many, is it like all Southwestern Conference schools in this thing on Saturday?
No, actually, I think there's only a couple, us in Edwardsville. Just the way it worked out geographically, we're going to Salem. Most of our conference is going to Columbia, and then Alton is going up north to Taylorville or Decatur. So they've kind of got us spread out, which is actually beneficial because our conference has a good chance to be well represented at the sectionals that way.
Oh, sure. And the state tournament is at St. Clair Bowl this year, isn't it, for the boys?
Yep, it's there every year. It's been there every year since I've been coaching. So
that's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to sleep in your own bed.
I cannot believe that we're already talking about playoffs.
No kidding.
Man, this
you
season.
And me both.
Yeah, I know. Coach Billy and I were talking about it last night. Basketball playoffs. Their seedings are going to come out at the end of this month. So. Man, times fly. All right, make sure you stop by and visit with us in between matches, Coach.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That is head coach Sean Hay of your Collinsville Kahawks. We will take a break here on the Chiropractic Works pregame show. When we come back, we will set up the starting 5 for each team and pass along some more names and some numbers for you as we continue here with our bowling coverage between Collinsville and O'Fallon from Camelot Bowl on Kahok Sports Network.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Chris McCluskey, and I'm excited to be here talking to you about one of our favorite products that we offer to the practice members in our office. It's called Rico's Bioenergy Band. Now, over the last 15 years that I've been in health and wellness, we've been blessed to grow one of the busiest pediatric and family wellness centers in the United States, where we've helped tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. So today we're going to talk about Rico's Bioenergy Bands. It's a simple band that you wear around your wrist or your ankle. We even have dog bands. What the Bioenergy Band does, it helps you live a higher quality of life, which is exactly what my purpose in life is to help as many people live as high quality of life for as long as possible. So we're going to introduce to you Rico, the band, the science and technology. We're going to perform a test for y'all to show you how the product works.
I'm Rico with Rico's Bioenergy. I created Rico's Bioenergy wristbands. We've been around for around 7 years, and this company has grown to a $20 million company because we have a great product and it works.
Mike's Automotive in Collinsville. Mike's Automotive is a T3 certified tire center, and they can handle all of the basics, like oil changes and tune-ups, and the not-so-basic stuff like complete engine rebuilds. Mike's Automotive also has 24-hour towing and has 3 locations: Millstadt, St. Louis, and in Collinsville at 1150 St. Louis Road, just blocks from the high school. Or call 345-0611, online at mikesautomotive.net and Mike's Automotive on Facebook. First National Bank of Waterloo. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo in O'Fallon for your mortgage and lending needs. Why? Super low closing costs, low construction loan rates, and they do so much to support our local communities. When you need a loan, come see Bill Metzger at First National Bank of Waterloo. Call Bill at 618-632-1010 or visit him at 104 Regency Park in O'Fallon or online fnbwaterloo.com. That's my bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All Pro Tees is your place for custom apparel for your school, business, sports team, and more. All Pro Tees offers a variety of services and options, and they'll walk you through that process step by step. They pride themselves in being a local Collinsville business, and they specialize in helping their clients promote and grow that business, all with custom apparel. All Pro Tees, right across the street from Kahok Stadium. Online at allprotees.com or call 344-2200.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Chris McCluskey, and I'm excited to be here talking to you about one of our favorite products that we offer to the practice members in our office. It's called Rico's Bioenergy Band. Now, over the last 15 years that I've been in health and wellness, we've been blessed to grow one of the busiest pediatric and family wellness centers in the United States, where we've helped tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. So today we're going to talk about Rico's Bioenergy Bands. It's a simple band that you wear around your wrist or your ankle. We even have dog bands. What the Bioenergy Band does, it helps you live a higher quality of life, which is exactly what my purpose in life is to help as many people live as high quality of life for as long as possible. So we're going to introduce to you Rico, the band, the science and technology. We're going to perform a test for you all to show you how the product works.
I'm Rico with Rico's Bioenergy. I created Rico's Bioenergy wristbands. We've been around for around 7 years, and this company has grown to a $20 million company because we have a great product and it works.
At Visionary Wealth Advisors, we empower you to see your future before it's your future, to create your inheritance, to build your vision, to anticipate the known and unknown, and to find potential in both, and build new dawns. Visionary Wealth Advisors.
Hi, I'm Colton Pareko. I want to thank the team at RE/MAX Alliance for helping me find my first home. It couldn't have been any easier. If you're in the game for a new home, contact my friends at RE/MAX Alliance.
And once again, we welcome you back into Camelot Bowl. I am Todd Duke. Glad that you're with us here on the Kahoks Sports Network. Collinsville and O'Fallon getting ready to take to the lanes. The boys will be featured right in the middle of the screen. See the big blue ball right in the middle of the screen? Well, that big blue ball is right over lane 14. The boys will be on 13 and 14, and the girls will be on 15 and 16. And then the JV teams will be off a little bit farther to the right, probably out of the picture. You can see probably the lanes, but you can't see the bowler. So we are here to follow the boys And we can tell you bowling fans that we did have a game scheduled next week, a bowling match next week with the girls, but we have had to cancel that one. We fit it in there in between the first and the second day of the girls basketball tournament. When the schedule came out, it was supposed to be just Tuesday and then Friday and Saturday. And then the schedule came out, and wouldn't you know it, we have basketball games Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So I've already talked to Coach Hay, and we're going to have to cancel next week's girls match, and that means that this is our last bowling match of the year. Tried to find a way to fit them in on a makeup basis, but that was not possible. So this is going to be our last bowling match of the year, so we apologize for all of the bowling fans out there. We are underway. Collinsville right now throwing down lane 14, and that was 9 pins knocked down by Cole Buddy. It'll be Ryan Warner, Nathan Hay, Cole Buddy, Ethan Gardner, and Eli Hay for Collinsville here in this first matchup, while Ryan Combe, Aiden Toohey, Josh Huron, Cameron Rachel, and Donnie Richards will bowl for the O'Fallon Panthers. And up on lane 13 for the Panthers right now is Josh Huron. And he gets a strike while Cole Buddy is trying to pick up his spare on lane 14, and he does so. We are midway through the first frame, and O'Fallon has a team turkey. First 3 bowlers went up and hit strikes for Collinsville. Oh, I believe so. Sorry, I could be wrong. I got 10s all over the board. Spare strike for O'Fallon. And now another strike, as that was Cameron Rachel. Here is Ethan Gardner for Collinsville on lane 14, and he will take care of 9 of the 10 for Collinsville. Strike, spare before we have arrived up to the point where we are now, Ethan Gardner. We'll pass along some more information along to you. Jordan Peacock for O'Fallon. He will be a sub here tonight. He leads the O'Fallon Panthers as far as average is concerned with 212. Here is Donnie Richards over on 13 for O'Fallon, and he will take care of all pins. So spare, followed by 4 strikes for the O'Fallon Panthers over on lane 13 in their first frame. Here is Ethan Gardner trying to pick up his pin left over on 14. He does. And now it's up to Eli Hay. Hay down 14, trying to keep 10s across the board for everybody involved, and he does. So Collinsville picks up 3 strikes and 2 spares in that first frame, while O'Fallon picks up 4 strikes and 1 spare. But right now, everything even at 50-50, but those strikes and those spares will pay dividends a little bit later. So we switch sides, and here is Ryan Warner stepping up on 13. That's just to the left of the big blue ball in the middle of your screen. And he'll let it fly, and he will take care of all of them. Ryan Combe on for O'Fallon on 14. He had a spare his first time up, the only Panther not to strike in that first frame, but he takes care of that here at the start of the second frame. Nathan Hay over on 13 for Collinsville. And Nathan leaves himself a 7-10 split. Trying to position myself here. I have to stand up on a chair when I'm doing bowling. I'm sure some of you have seen the picture that Coach Lee sent out, or Coach Smith sent out a couple of months ago when I was here doing this. Bad thing is I broke my pinky toe last night. Yep. After all my problems with my cars, now my body's going to break down. Well, that was my fault. I was walking down in my basement and getting ready to make that left to go upstairs, and wham! Right pinky toe slammed right into the corner of the first step, and it's broke. So I'm standing here on this chair trying to take the pressure off of it, and not working out too well in my favor. Eli Hay missed that split, couldn't even take care of the 7 or the 10 pin. Ended up being a gutter ball, so the first open frame of the afternoon belongs to Collinsville. Here is Cole Buddy over on 13 for the Kahawks, and he'll take care of them. Meanwhile, O'Fallon, a strike and a spare. The strike from Ryan Combe and Aiden Toohey with the spare. Here is Josh Haran on 14 for the for the Panthers. He will leave up one. Ethan Gardner already down 13 for Collinsville. And he will take care of all of them. There is Josh Haran for O'Fallon on 14. He has the high game of the year for the Panthers at 269 as he takes care of that spare there. For Collinsville, here is Eli Hay down 13. And he will take care of back-to-back strikes for himself and for Collinsville. 3 in a row, 4 strikes in that frame. The only one that didn't strike was Nathan Hay, who had the open frame on the 7-10 split. Now over here on 14, Cameron Rochelle has himself a split and a sleeper that he couldn't pick up. So Collinsville's finished on their side. For O'Fallon, they are on bowler number 4. That is Cameron Rochelle. That's why I thought he was going up there, but apparently not. Now the pins are suspended in midair over on 14. They'll have to do a reset. High series is Donnie Richards. Donnie Richards will be coming up here after Rochelle for O'Fallon. For Collinsville, their leader, Ryan Warner, he has the highest average at 222, and he has the highest series at 770, but the high game of the year is a 279 by Ethan Gardner. Of course, I believe this is all conference action. Thought I saw somewhere in one of those tournaments that Ryan Warner had a 299 game. That's not reflected on my sheet here. Now we're ready to go on 14. And here is eventually. Nope. I guess we're still having problems with 14. The arm came down and just swept all the pins away. So we have a little bit of a technical delay here. All right, now it looks like it's ready to go once again. So Cameron Rochelle is up and ready to throw, and his patience has paid off with a strike. That will bring up Donnie Richards, who we just spoke of. Leads his team. In the category of high series, and he also picks up a strike. So after 2 complete frames, O'Fallon up by 4 pins, 150 to 146. Taking a glance over here at the girls. They are also beginning frame number 3, and right now it looks like Collinsville is in the lead by 10 pins, 155 to 145. Here is Ryan Combe down 13 for O'Fallon, and he will leave 1 pin standing, although it wobbled for a minute. It wanted to go down, so Ryan Warner with a chance to gain at least a 1 pin advantage here on 14. Warner takes advantage of it. Combe trying to pick up his 1 pin over on 13. There are no bowlers on 12, so the ones on 13 do not have to wait unless they're waiting for somebody on 14. But since that is their competition, they will usually give way for each other. Here's a big curveball by Nathan Hay that knocks down half of them and leaves half of them. Over on 13, another sweeping curveball. from the left to the right for Aiden Toohey. Now Nathan Hay coming up on 14. And he'll take care of a couple of those 5 left up there. So Nathan has a couple of open frames back to back. He'll come over and talk to his head coach, Sean Hay, who happens to also be his dad. And Josh Haran over on 13 leaves that 10 pin standing. Here is Cole Buddy for Collinsville on 14. Wipes out the right side. Leaves 3 on the left standing. Josh Haran over on 13 trying to pick up his 10 pin for the Panthers. He does. And Cole Buddy over on 14 trying to take care of his 1, 2, and 4 pin that he left standing. And he can't take care of the 4. So back-to-back open frames here in this third by Hay and Buddy. And now over on 13, Cameron Retchell is leaving up 2. And it's a little bit of a split with that 1 pin and the 10 pin. The only one still standing. Ethan Gardner up on 14 for Collinsville. Leaves up 2 pins on the right-hand side, the 6 and the 10 on 13. Only 1 out of the 2. And that is the first open frame for O'Fallon, excuse me, here in this first match. Ethan Gardner on 14 trying to take care of his final 2 pins. And he gutter balls it. Donnie Richards now steps up on 13 for O'Fallon. Only 1 strike in this frame for the Panthers. After pouring it on in the first, 4 of the first 5 bowlers hit strikes. And now Richards will add a strike, the second one here in this frame, and he picks himself up a turkey. Here is Eli Hay on 14, and he'll answer with a strike. And we have completed 3 frames, and Eli also has a turkey. So the anchor bowlers for Collinsville and O'Fallon have started off with 3 straight strikes. And after 3 frames in the book, O'Fallon up 256 to 247. Girls just started their 4th frame as well. Collinsville up 263 to 244. Ryan Warner leaves himself a small split and a sleeper, while Ryan Combe hits a strike over on 14. And Warner could not take care of any of the 3 remaining pins, so the first open frame for Warner after he started off with a turkey. Here's Aiden Toohey. And he will pick up a strike, while Nathan Hay leaves the 4 and the 7 over on lane 13. Now Josh Haran getting ready to go on 14. For O'Fallon. And couldn't get that 7 pin to fall down. It wobbled, but it would not fall. Meanwhile, Nathan Hay over on 13 takes care of his spare for Collinsville. As Josh Haran trying to pick up his on 14. First, it'll be Cole Buddy on 13 for the Kahawks. His ball is on the way. And leaves up the 10 pin. Haran for O'Fallon trying to pick off his 7. He does. And then he'll give way for Cole Buddy to try to pick up his 10. It's on the way. And good. Let's thank some of our sponsors while we have a brief second. How about Pace Design and Construction in Maryville? Whether you're building a new home, making an addition to the home you currently own, or finally getting around to that remodeling job you've been putting off, Pace Design and Construction in Maryville can help. Pace Design and Construction is a building and remodeling contractor that you can trust. They provide the highest quality, they are dedicated to their customers, and they are committed to completing your project on time and within budget. Pace Design and Construction in Maryville. Give them a call, 618-407-5466, or online at pacedesignconstruct.com. Ethan Gardner over on 13 has himself a couple of pins left to pick up a spare. No strikes in this frame so far for Collinsville. 3 in this frame for O'Fallon. And Gardner can only pick up 1 pin. So Collinsville with 2 open frames here in this 4th frame. Anchor bowlers. Here's Donnie Richards on 14 for O'Fallon. He's working on a turkey and can't get himself a quad. Eli Hay also working on a turkey, and he will pick up that last pin. That 7 pin took a minute to fall down, but it did. So 4 straight strikes to start off this game for Eli Hay. As Donnie Richards trying to pick up this 10 pin over here on 14. So a miss there will send us to the 5th frame. And right now, Collinsville trailing 352 to 327. Eli Hay is the only one that has a perfect game still alive. 4 strikes in his first 4 frames. Here's Ryan Warner on 14 for Collinsville. He'll let it fly, and he will leave up that 10 pin. Next, Ryan Combe over on 13 for O'Fallon. He will knock them all down. Always still amazes me that the pins fly around like that. Such a flurry of pins going everywhere, and one of them stays up. Especially when you look at it back in slow motion. You're like, how did that pin not get hit by all those flying pins all around it? Warner picks up his spare. Aiden Toohey on 13 will make it back-to-back strikes for O'Fallon to start off this 5th frame. And for Toohey, that's a turkey for him. Here is Nathan Hay on 14 for Collinsville. He will leave up that 7 pin. Ron down 13 for O'Fallon. 3 straight strikes here for O'Fallon to start off the 5th. Nathan Hay trying to pick up this 7 pin on 14. He missed it. Started heading the right direction, but it stopped curving right at the very end. Nathan is having a rough start here. Cole Buddy is up on 14. Nathan Hay started off with a strike, and since then, 4 straight open frames, and that's going to be tough for Buddy to pick up as well. A little intimidation factor going on here between O'Fallon and Collinsville, as we are almost through at the 5th frame. Girls are almost through with their 5th frame as well. Here's a hard split pickup here for Cole Buddy, and he'll get it on the left side of that pin on the left, but not far enough to kick it over and take care of that 10 pin. So an open frame, 2 open frames here in this 5th for Collinsville. And now Ethan Gardner up on 14 for the Kahawks. And a strike for Mr. Gardner. That's 2 strikes out of his first 5 frames. Eli Hay now steps up on 14, but not before Donnie Richards flies it down 13. He'll leave up 1. Eli Hay, the only one left with a perfect game going so far. I know that we're only into the 5th, but still important. Here is young Eli Hay on 14. And make it 5 in a row. Richards on 13, trying to pick up his spare. He does. 5 frames in the books. And Collinsville trailing right now 450 to 412. On the girls' side, they just finished with their 5th frame as well. And Collinsville leading over that way, 429 to 414. Ryan Warner on 13 will start this frame off with a strike. Warner now has 4 strikes in his first 6 frames. Here is Ryan Combs, so it's Ryan against Ryan as the leadoff bowlers for both of these programs. And this Ryan Combs leaves up a sleeper. The 2 and the 8 still standing. Here is Alex Dahl, who is stepping in for Nathan Hay. So Nathan Hay leaves after 5 complete frames in the book, and Alex Dahl will step in to take over at least for that frame. Aiden Toohey on 14. He'll take care of all of them. Cole Buddy over on 13, stepping up. And he'll leave up a couple. Didn't quite hit that head pin where he needed to. Josh Haran will step up on lane 14 now for O'Fallon. And he'll leave up a couple. So Buddy will try to pick up his 2 first. And then Haran will have a chance to take care of his 2. Buddy does that. And now Haran trying to take care of his 2. He will only get 1. Ethan Gardner up on 13 now for Collinsville. He'll smash them all down. Cameron Rachel down 14 for the Panthers. Strike. And now Eli Hay looking for 6th strike in a row. Down 13 it goes, and he will hit 6 in a row. So nice job there, Eli Hay, starting off perfect. One more bowler, and we can move on to the 7th frame, and that is Donnie Richards. Richards will be up on 14 just as soon as the ladies take care of their turn on 15. Here's Donnie Richards. Ooh, he'll split them in half. 2 on the left side, 4 on the right side. Richards trying to pick up that mess down there he left on 14. He'll take care of 4 of the 6. And that ends the 6th frame with the Panthers up over your Kahawks, 548 to 502. So Collinsville right now 46 pins behind after 6 frames in the book. Ryan Warner, he's ready to go on 14. We begin frame number 7 with a strike. Ladies are down to their final bowlers on frame 6. So just a little bit behind the boys. Meanwhile, Ryan Combe over on 13 answers Ryan Warner's strike. Aiden Toohey on 13 will go first for O'Fallon. He'll bend it in there, but leave himself a split. And Alex Dahl now up. He'll leave 3 on the right side. Aiden Toohey has his hands full, has a 7-9 split. And he'll take care of the 9. Alex Dahl down 14, trying to pick up his spare, and he will leave the 10 up. So the second bowlers leave open frames after the first bowlers take care of some strikes. Here is Josh Haran over on 13 for the O'Fallon Panthers. Bends it in there, but missed the head pin completely. Still wiped out 7 of the 10. Cole Buddy down 14 for Collinsville. He'll take care of all of them. 2 strikes in this frame for the Kahawks. Josh Haran trying to pick up his spare on 13 for O'Fallon. He will. Ethan Gardner now up on 14 for Collinsville. Gardner trying to pick up a turkey here after back-to-back strikes the last 2 frames, and he does just that. Eli Hay on lane 14. Looking for his 7th strike in a row to start off this first match. It's on the way. And no good. He has a ugly split. 2 pins on each side. 4-7 on the left, 6-10 on the right. There is Rachel on 13. He'll miss the head pin as well. So Eli's perfect game busted up by a split here in the 7th. We'll try to take out one side, and looks like he's working on the left. He does, and the 2 on the right stay up. Nice start, though, for Collinsville's Eli Hay. Spare picked up over on 13. That was a nice job over there by Cameron Rochelle. That leaves Donnie Richards as the last bowler here in the 7th. He's lined up and ready to go on 13. That's a strike. And that is the end of 7 with the O'Fallon Panthers still up over your Kahawks, but Collinsville trying to inch closer, down by 46 just a minute ago. Now only down by 16, 626 to 610. 8th frame starts now. Ryan Warner on 13. Good for a strike. Warner picks himself up a turkey. Started off with a turkey, so he's got 6 strikes in this game. But right in the middle of those 2 turkeys, he had a couple of open frames. 1 open frame, excuse me, and a spare. That was on the 4th and the 5th frame, respectively. Ryan Combe on 14 for O'Fallon. Will leave up 1. Here's Alex Dahl on 13 for Collinsville. He'll take care of all of them. Back-to-back strikes here for Collinsville to start off the 8th. And Collinsville trying to climb back into this one. Combe has the 1 pin left. he'll take care of that. Cole Buddy over on 13, ready to go for Collinsville. Buddy takes care of a strike, so a team turkey to start off the 8th frame here for the Kahawks. Meanwhile, Tui on 14 will leave himself a split. That'll help the Kahawks' chances. Here is Ethan Gardner over on 13. He'll take care of all of them. 4 straight strikes to start off this 8th frame here for Collinsville. Tui for O'Fallon on 14. Has his work cut out for him with the 7 and then the 9 and the 10, or excuse me, the 6 and the 10. And he'll aim at that 6 and 10, but only get the 10. Here is Eli Hay on 13. Just got his perfect game busted after 6 straight spares, and now back-to-back frames where Eli has got a split left to try and pick up. There is Josh Sharon on 14 now for O'Fallon. And he'll wipe out 7, mostly on the left side. Eli Hay trying to close out the 8th frame. The only Kahawk not to get a strike here in this 8th frame was Eli after starting off with 6 straight strikes. And again, having a hard time because he's left with a split 2 frames in a row. Collinsville is all finished here in this 8th frame, but Josh Haran still has 1 more ball to throw, and it's on the way. And he'll take care of that spare, and then we still have Cameron Rochelle and Donnie Richards to throw for O'Fallon. So while they do that, let's go ahead and thank another one of our sponsors. How about Chapman Trucking LLC? Chapman Trucking is a local Collinsville business owned and operated by 1994 Collinsville graduate Christy Chapman. With over 9 years of experience, Chapman Trucking LLC can take care of all of the heavy lifting when it comes to hauling aggregate materials such as sand, driveway rock, dirt, boulders, and more, including getting your heavy equipment where it needs to be. Give Christy a call for a free estimate. Chapman Trucking LLC, 618-960-9346, or online at chapmantruckingllc.net. We have a foul up on the board over on the O'Fallon side for Cameron Rochelle. And it looks like it's going to stay that way, so that will help Collinsville out. And Rochelle ends up picking up a strike anyway, but they're going to call it a spare after that first step foul. Now it's up to Donnie Richards to close things out here for O'Fallon here in the 8th frame. Midway through the 8th frame for the girls. And right now, Collinsville out front, 681 to 712. O'Fallon's finished on the girls' side with the 8th, and Time Sampson just finished up her throat. So 2 more lady bowlers left to go for Collinsville, and Donnie Richards picks up a strike on 14 for the O'Fallon Panthers. And after 8 frames in the book, Collinsville has recaptured the lead, 709 to 701. So the Kahawks are up by 8 pins with 2 frames left to go. Here's Ryan Warner on 14 for Collinsville. And leaves a sleeper standing. The 2 and the 8 are left. Well, the O'Fallon Panthers are having a little bit of a meeting over here off to the side before they begin their 9th frame. Meanwhile, Ryan Warner is going to go ahead and throw his second ball. Picks up that sleeper. And Warner picks himself up a spare. Alex Dahl will take care of all of them on 14. Now Ryan Combe, after the meeting's over with for O'Fallon, down 13, and he will pick up a strike. A little bit of a battle going down here in this first matchup. Here is Aiden Toohey down 13, and he will also pick up a strike. Cole Buddy down 14 for Collinsville. Wipes out the left half, leaves up the right half. Josh Sharon ready to go down 13 for O'Fallon. There's his throw. He will also pick up a strike. 3 straight strikes to start off this 9th frame for O'Fallon. I have no idea what their head coach said, but apparently it's worked. Buddy down 14, trying to pick up this spare. He will. Barely got that front pin. The rest was no problem at all. Cameron Rochelle on 13 for the Panthers. And no strike. Here is Ethan Gardner. Gardner will take care of a emphatic strike. Marchell trying to pick up his 6'10" spare over on 13, and he will. And here is Eli Hay. Hay was on fire to begin with 6 straight strikes and then ran into back-to-back splits. Now he'll pick up where he left off and fires that strike in there. Donnie Richards will try to finish up the 9th the same way over there for O'Fallon. Here is Richards. He will leave up the 7 pin. That'll help Collinsville. Donnie Richards trying to pick up the 7th frame or 7th pin, excuse me, to send us into the 10th and final frame of this first match. He will take care of it. We will head to the 10th. Collinsville 823 to O'Fallon's 798. So a 25 pin lead going into the final frame here for the Kahawks. O'Fallon has not lost a match. That would be the 3 games within all year. They are 10-0. And there's Ryan Warner starting us off with a strike on lane 13. Ryan Combe on 14 trying to do the same, and he will. So a couple of extra balls coming up for both the Ryans. Ryan Warner for Collinsville. Over on 13 will go first. And he leaves up 2. Ryan Combe trying to take advantage. Here's his first extra throw down 14. He will pick up back-to-back strikes. That is a turkey for Ryan Combe with his strike in the 9th. Ryan Warner will try to pick up that spare on 13. He will. And Warner will end up with a 219 in his first game of the day. Here is Ryan Combe trying to end with a turkey. He can't, leaves up 1. Alex Dahl down 13 for Collinsville. Leaves himself a split. 227 for Ryan Combe, so the head-to-head advantage goes to Combe in the battle of the Ryans. Here's Alex Dahl. Not much he can do there, and he throws it into the gutter. Probably would have only gotten 1 more pin anyway. Here is Aiden Toohey for O'Fallon. He will pick up a strike on his first throw in the 9th. So the Nathan Hay, Alex Dahl combination ended with a 141. Cole Buddy on 13. He'll leave 1. Toohey on 14 for O'Fallon. That ball hugs that left side of that lane and then turns in about 3/4 of the way down there. He left up 2 this time, did Tui. Cole Buddy trying to pick up a spare to end his, nope, he only get an extra throw. That was a spare. Thought he was on his last ball already. So one more ball coming the way of Cole Buddy, and one more for Tui. His is on the way. He'll take care of both of them. And Tui will end up with a 2-12. So another head-to-head matchup as Aiden Tui took care of the tandem of Nathan Hay and Alex Dahl, who ended up with a 141. Tui ended up with a 212. And Kyle Buddy picks up 7 and ends up with a 177. Here is Josh Sharon on 14. He'll need to pick up a couple of pins to give himself an extra throw. Ethan Gardner takes care of a strike on 13. Aiden Tui trying to pick up his spare. And he will, and have one more throw as he is trying to work out a better score than Cole Buddy's 177, which means he only needs to hit 4 pins on this next throw to tie it, 5 on the next throw to win another head-to-head matchup. Here is Ethan Gardner, and Gardner picks up back-to-back strikes. Josh Sharon on 14, his final throw here in this first match of the day. And he'll do better than 5. He'll take care of all of them. And that'll be another head-to-head matchup. So O'Fallon has won the first 3 head-to-head as Sharon ends up with a 183. Gardner, back-to-back strikes in the 10th, will finish with 8 pins on that final throw and end up with a 233. And he is up against Cameron Rochelle. Rochelle right now with a 125, so that seems like a pretty safe bet that Gardner will win that head-to-head matchup. There's the first throw for Rochelle, and he'll leave up the 10 pin. Eli Hay has 7 strikes in this first matchup, 6 in a row to start. And then 1 in the last frame, and not going to happen in this frame. Cameron Rochelle trying to pick up that 10 pin on 14, and he will. Eli Hay trying to pick up that 8 pin on 13. And he will. So each of these bowlers gets one more throw. Eli got ripped off of his last ball. They already have his game closed out up there. Cameron Rochelle is a little short. And apparently may have stepped on the line because there's a big F on his last throw up there. See if that stands. I know Coach Hay right now trying to fix the error for Eli, as they never let Eli throw that final ball. They said he missed that final ball, and he did not. Here is Donnie Richards. Richards will take care of, man, pin back there wobbling. 2 in the 8 pin still standing up, so a sleeper. Now here's Eli Hay's final throw. He'll pick up 6. And young Eli will end up with a 217. 144 is what Cameron Rochelle ended up with, so Gardner got the head-to-head matchup there. And now Donnie Richards trying to battle and see if he can overtake Eli Hay, and he will not be able to, as he left that 8 pin standing up back in the back. So Eli's 217 will be better than the 185 for Donnie Richards, and Collinsville wins that first match, 987 to 951. Of course, the head-to-head matchups may take away 1 point or two, but I think Collinsville will still win that matchup. So after one in the books, Kahawks win the first one. Ladies are just about finished. One more bowler on each side, and that one will be over. And it looks like O'Fallon has came back in that one and recaptured the lead. Kind of a reverse of what happened over on the boys' side. Boys were trailing for a lot and then came back and won the first match. Ladies, for O'Fallon. Down 15, got a split over here and a miss. And Collinsville will, the ladies will lose this first matchup. One more ball coming for the ladies' side, and then that first match will be in the books as the boys are having a little meeting over off to the side before they begin match number 2. Final ball for O'Fallon is down, and the girls will lose their first match, 1,058 to 937, after the boys came back to win their first match. So that's where we stand right now. We are going to take a break, and then we'll come back and tell you all about match number 2 between Collinsville and O'Fallon, and we'll do that here in just a couple of minutes on the Kahok Sports Network.
Hi, Purple and White fans. This is Dan Mode, class of 1989. I'm with New American Funding. Myself and New American Funding are proud sponsors of Kahok Athletics. As we have great coaches at CHS on all the courts, fields, and tracks, we like to coach you through the home buying process and refinance process. If there's ever anything we can do, I can be reached at 618-973-5343 or www.danmodeloans.com. Let's support our student athletes at CHS. They deserve the best. Thank you for your time, and go Kahawks.
Agape in Collinsville. Cafe Agape serves up delicious sandwiches, burgers, steaks, pulled pork, and the Collinsville favorite, the steak and onion sandwich. Cafe Agape has weekly lunch and dinner specials with pork steak Wednesdays, meatloaf Thursdays, and fish every Friday. Cafe Agape also offers catering service, and you can get Cafe Agape delivered now through the To-Go delivery app. Cafe Agape is open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7, and they're located at 703 St. Louis Road in Collinsville, or call 345-CAFE. That's 345-2233.
I'm a hot babe out jogging. I'm out making sure this stays a 10 when you drive by. You're checking out my awesome headband when... Oops. That's when you find out your cut rate insurance, it ain't paying for this. So get Allstate. Save cash and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands? Call me, Mike Cluck with Allstate, for a quote today.
And once again, we welcome you back into Camelot Bowl. I am Todd Duke. Glad that you're with us here on the Kahok Sports Network. Collinsville winning that first match in comeback style. We'll talk about it with the head coach here in just a second. Let's thank the City of Collinsville. You can check out the City of Collinsville's Facebook page for information on upcoming events in the city. And as usual, the City of Collinsville is a proud supporter of the Collinsville Unit 10 School District, and they wish all district athletes good luck this sports season. Collinsville coach Sean Hay joining us now after match number 1 in the books. That was a nice comeback win by the boys over there.
It was a win by the boys. It's nice that we were able to make the comeback for sure. Wasn't our best game.
Well, I know that Nathan had a real rough start in that one, but he took himself out, didn't he?
We mutually agreed.
Yeah. So what happens when you do that? Is it a mind thing, or is it a body thing, or am I tired, or is it just a mental block?
If the bowler doesn't have the shot, if they're kind of spraying the ball everywhere, trying to get to the strike, then there's a good spare on lane 16, by the way. She just picked up a 3.69, 3.6.710, so a big
nice.
split. But anyway, you can tell if they just don't have a very confident feel for their shot, then what ends up happening is it's hard, even when you're lined up right, to throw with confidence. And so sometimes just stepping out for a game kind of gets them reset. Alex has a line, so we're gonna roll with him. If there's any trouble, Nathan can't go back in, and we'll be fine.
All right, and just briefly on the girls' side, they did a little bit of the opposite. They were in charge of much of that game, and then ended up dropping it at the end.
Yeah, their 10th frame wasn't as strong. They had an opportunity to start punching out, and they started off throwing some splits. And it's hard whenever you need to keep the momentum going, and you start throwing some opens in there.
Yeah, we watched that with Eli, man. Eli started off with 6 straight strikes, and then back-to-back frames he got ripped off on spares.
Right. Well, what ends up happening is, and this is very, very common, a bowler will make a mistake, and then in order to compensate for the next frame, they make sure they don't make that same mistake again, but then they turn around and do a mistake in the opposite direction.
Overcompensate.
Way overcompensation.
Yeah.
So it happens more times than it should.
All right, Coach. Thanks for the visit. We'll talk to you in the next one. Thank you. That is head coach Sean Hay of your Collinsville Kahawks as we are into match number 2 here between Collinsville and O'Fallon. And we are into frame number 2 on the boys' side, and almost done with frame number 2 actually on the boys' side. The girls are in the middle of frame number 2 as Eli Hay picks up yet another strike over here on 14. And right now it looks like we have one more bowler for O'Fallon, and then we can kind of give you a score after 2 frames here. And this is Donnie Richards over on 13. And he will pick up a strike to end the second frame for O'Fallon. So after 2 frames in the books between Collinsville and O'Fallon, the Kahawks have a 1-pin lead, 127 to 126. So we'll switch it up, and Collinsville will end up on lane 13. Ryan Warner, who bowled a 219 in his first go-around, stands up after a spare in the first and a strike in the second. Here's his throw in the third, and he'll end up with back-to-back strikes. Ryan Combe for O'Fallon with a strike. I think we might have some new bowlers here for O'Fallon. I'll have to check here in just a second. Here is Alex Dahl over on 13. Back-to-back strikes by Warner and Dahl. That was a combo effort between Nathan Hay and Alex Dahl in that first matchup as Aiden Toohey ends up with a strike. There is Cole Buddy over here for Collinsville on 13. And he can't get that 4-pin to fall. Meanwhile, Josh Herron ready to go on 14 here for O'Fallon. Durant knocks them all. Cole Buddy on 13 trying to pick up his spare. He does. Cameron Richell on 14, 4-0 Fallon, and he'll leave himself a split. The old 7-10 split. Meanwhile, Ethan Gardner, who had the high game for Collinsville in that first match with a 233, lets it fly down 13, and he will take care of all of them. And Ethan Gardner, back-to-back strikes as well. He started off with a spare. No strikes for Collinsville in that first frame. 3 spares, 2 open frames, and then everybody picked up a strike in frame number 2. Here we are in frame 3, and 3 out of the 4 have picked up strikes. Make that 4 out of the 5 as Eli Hay picks up a strike. Alex Dahl was the only one that did not strike in that frame. He picked up a spare, though, so all is good. Collinsville's finished with frame number 3. Here is Donnie Richards on 14, 4-0 Fallon, and he will have one more throw before his team finishes up with frame number 3. After 3 on the girls' side, Collinsville up, or after 2, excuse me, 165 to 157. Donnie Richards ready on 14. It's on the way. And good. So after 3 frames in the books, Collinsville up by 5 pins, 227 to 222. Ryan Warner on 14, waits for Time Sampson on 15 to throw her ball. She's finished, and here is Ryan Warner. Warner picks up a strike. He now has a turkey. Started off this game with a spare and then 3 straight strikes. Here is Ryan Colm, who leaves up 2 pins over on 13. Collinsville trying to handle Fallon, their first match loss of the year. 10 matches in, 10 wins for O'Fallon. Always a powerful bowling team. Well, there's Alex Dahl getting robbed down there on 14, leaves up that 1 pin. Ryan Colm over on 13. Ready. Oh, only picks up 1. Alex Dahl came in the 6th frame of that first match to replace Nathan Hay, and he'll pick up his spare. Here is Aiden Toohey. Toohey on 13, leaves up the 10 pin. Cole Buddy on 14 for the Kahawks. Picks up another strike. 2 strikes and 2 spares in this second match for young Cole Buddy. Here is Aiden Toohey trying to pick up that 10 pin on 13, and he will. Ethan Gardner on 14 has some velocity behind his throws. And he will leave up a small split. That's doable. Josh Haran on 13. Haran leaves up a pin. Gardner on 14. Trying to pick up that spare. Like I said, it's doable. They're close enough together. The 3 and the 10, and he'll do just that. That's exactly what you need to do. Go after that 3 pin on the right side, and then that ball will kick off of it and take care of that 10 pin. And Josh Haran takes care of his spare over on 13. Here is Eli Hay on 14 for the Kahawks. Eli, good enough. Turkey for young Mr. Hay. He had an open frame in that first. Time to thank another sponsor. How about that? Well, if you're looking to buy a home, or maybe even sell your current one. You can trust the Blaylock team of RE/MAX Alliance with all of your real estate needs. If you buy or sell with the Blaylocks, they will donate $200 to your favorite Kahok Booster Club. That's a good deal. You can call Peyton Blaylock or his lovely wife Emily Blaylock today at 618-780-4622, or you can visit them online at www.blaylockteam.com. On 13, Donnie Richards, 4-0 Fallon. Collinsville's finished up. 3 strikes and 2 spares in that 4th frame for the Kahawks. They stand at 364 on the pin count right now. And Donnie Richards has one more throw coming his way before we head to the 5th. Richards lets it fly. And can only pick up 1. So Collinsville will retake the lead, and they will extend the lead now out to 42 pins, 364 to 322. And we will switch up lanes again. The ladies are midway through their 4th. Kahawks right now up 295 to 279, but again, we're in the middle of the 4th. Here is Ryan Warner on 13 for Collinsville as we begin the 5th on the boys' side, and Warner will leave up the 10 pin. Triad and Muscuda are also in the house. They are playing on the last 8 lanes here at Camelot Bowl, all the way down at the other end of the bowling alley. Here's Gardner, and he ends up throwing it in the gutter right at the last second before he could knock down that 10 ball. Here's Aiden Toohey for O'Fallon on 14, and he'll take care of all of them. Toohey ended up with a 212 his first time up. Ryan Combe was the leader in points with 227 for O'Fallon. Ethan Gardner led all bowlers in that first match with a 233. He, of course, bowls for the Collinsville Kahawks. Here is Josh Sharon on 14 now for O'Fallon, and he picks up a strike. Meanwhile, Alex Dahl over on 13 trying to take care of his 1 pin left to pick himself up a spare. He will. Down 14. 1, 2, 4, and then the 10 stays standing up for Cameron Rochelle. Here is Cole Buddy for Collinsville on 13. He picks them all up. Two of the 4 fall on lane 14 for O'Fallon. Ethan Gardner, and that 100-mile-per-hour fastball takes care of another strike. Donnie Richards set up on 14 for his first throw. He'll leave 1 up as Eli Hay lets it fly down 13. Ooh, that was the same thing we had over here on 14 just a little while ago, just reverse it. Instead of the 1, 2, 4, 10, this time it's the 1, 3, 6, 7. Richards just has 1 pin to pick up on 14. He does. Eli Hay has a little bit more of a tougher challenge here. Oh! That 10 pin almost came whipping around there to take care of that 7, but that 7 stays. So after 5 frames in the book, Collinsville still up 474 to 396. Ryan Warner for Collinsville down 14. Kahawks can pull off this victory here in this second match. Collinsville will be victorious on the afternoon with only 1 more match to go, and will hand O'Fallon their first loss of the year. Ryan Combe down 13 after Ryan Warner left up the 10 pin, and Combe does the same thing. Warner will take care of his first, and he'll miss. He knew it as soon as he let it go. He turned around and started walking back. Didn't even look over his shoulder to see the end result. So Donnie Richards will try to do Ryan Combe will try to do what Ryan Warner couldn't. And he does. Alex Dahl now up on 14 for Collinsville. He'll take care of all of them. There is Tui on 13, and he'll pick up a strike. His second in a row, his fourth here in this second match. Cole Buddy down 14. That looked pretty good. End result looked pretty good. Here is Josh Haran on 13 for the O'Fallon Panthers. And he takes care of all 10 pins as well. Here comes Ethan Gardner on 14. Well, he'll give way. Nope. Time Sampson will give way for Ethan this time. So Gardner will throw. Down 14, and he'll wipe out the left side. Richell on 13. He'll take care of all of them. Nice job, Time Sampson. Lady Kahawks are up 413 to 360, but they're in the middle of the fifth frame. Here is Ethan Gardner trying to pick up the 3-6-10 pin over here on 14. He will. As Donnie Richards is ready to let it fly down 13 for O'Fallon. He'll take care of all 10 of his, and only one spare in that frame for O'Fallon. All the rest strikes in the sixth. And the O'Fallon Panthers trying to make a comeback. Here is Eli Hay, and Eli leaves up one. One more throw, and we will end the sixth frame here on the boys' side. Eli Hay, who bowled a 217 his first match, will pick up a spare to end frame number 6. And at the end of 6, Collinsville is still out front of O'Fallon, 563 to 486. So O'Fallon will have to come. This is about the point of the last match in the first match where Collinsville started their comeback. So O'Fallon would like to turn the tables and come back and win this game against the Kahawks, but Collinsville holding tough right now. Here is Ryan Warner on 13. He'll leave up one pin. That pin just rolled all the way around and just went right past that 4 pin. There's Ryan Combe on 14 for O'Fallon. He'll take advantage of it and pick up a strike. Combe got the better of Warner in that first head-to-head matchup, 227 to 219. Warner trying to pick up his spare on 13. He will this time. That's 3 straight frames in which Warner has been left with a 9. And this time it did not give him a spare. Here's Alex Dahl. Dahl picks up a strike. They will take care of that problem. On lane 14, it did not give Ryan Warner a spare. It gave him a miss, which would have been 3 straight open frames, but this one is incorrect as Josh Haran picks up a strike on 14 for O'Fallon. Here is Cole Buddy over on 13 for Collinsville. He'll take care of all of them. Back-to-back strikes by Nathan Hay and Cole Buddy after Ryan Warner's opening spare to start off the 7th. 2 pins left up on 14 by O'Fallon. Meanwhile, Ethan Gardner over on 13 for the Kahawks. Oh, that hugged that right side real close. Got lucky that he only left up the 1, 2, and the 4 did Ethan Gardner. Because that ball was super close to going into the gutter. Spare picked up over here on 14. Gardner trying to pick up his spare on 13. Sometimes velocity is not the answer. A little easy throw and a little spin, and Ethan Gardner takes care of his spare. Donnie Richards will step up on 14 for O'Fallon. Leaves up one. Eli Hay on 13 for Collinsville. Leaves up one. Oh, none. One pin finally spun around and took care of that 10 pin right at the last moment. Collinsville is all finished with the 8th frame. One more throw here from Donnie Richards, and the Panthers will be as well. Here is that throw, and a spare for Richards. After 7 frames in the books, Collinsville 660. And O'Fallon 606. They're just beginning the 6th frame for the girls, and the Kahawks are up 474 to 437. So Lady Panthers are inching a little bit closer. Here's Ryan Warner for Collinsville as we begin frame number 8. Warner gets all of them. Ryan Combe on the other side will leave up one, so a reverse of the last frame in which Warner left up one and Combe picked up a strike. Here's Alex Dahl on 14 for Collinsville. Ooh. Mowed him right down the middle. Combe picks up the spare over on 13 for O'Fallon. Let's thank the Collinsville Education Association. The CEA is your partner as they work to ensure quality education for our children. The CEA advocates excellence and equity in public education. For more information, you can visit the Collinsville Education Association's Facebook page, or you can check out the CEA's website at collinsvillecea.org. Alex Dahl trying to clean up a little bit of that mess down there. He only got 2 of the 5. First open frame for Dahl since the first. Here is Josh Haran for O'Fallon on 13. He will pick up a strike. Cole Buddy on 14 for Collinsville. Trying to answer. He will. The Scuda bowlers are in dress slacks and button shirts, all looking businesslike over there. Got 2 teams representing purple and white, or purple, Mascuda and Collinsville. Here is Ethan Gardner on 14 for the Kahawks, and he will leave 1 pin standing. 1 pin in the corner, number 10 for O'Fallon on 13. That one falls. Ethan Gardner will try to pick up his spare, but first it'll be Donnie Richards who will throw for O'Fallon on lane 13. His is on the way first. And even though he probably mishit that head pin, coming in from the right side usually, hit it on the left side, still all pins dropped. Gardner takes care of his lone pin. And Eli Hay will become the final bowler here in this 8th frame. 3 strikes and 2 spares in that frame for O'Fallon. That's what they did in the 7th as well. They had 4 strikes and a spare in the 6th. They're on fire recently as Eli leaves that 10 pin over there, and then a big old mess on the left side. The 2, the 4, and the 8. Got to hit that 2 pin on the left-hand side to have a chance at picking up this spare. It's on the way, and he hits that 2 pin head on, which sends everything spinning, but not good enough to take care of that 10 pin. So after 8 frames in the book, Collinsville with 766 O'Fallon with 7:25. They're beginning the 7th frame on the girls' side. Collinsville up 586 to 504. So both teams flying here in this second match. Here is Ryan Warner on 13. He'll start off the 9th frame with a strike for Collinsville. Now Ryan Combe trying to do the same over here on 14 for O'Fallon. He does not. Alex Dahl on 13 for the Kahawks. He leaves up the 10 pin. So Ryan Combe will try to take care of his spare over here on 14 before Dahl does on 13 for Collinsville. Combe takes care of his job. Dahl trying to do the same with the white ball, and he does. Aiden Toohey steps up on 14 for O'Fallon. Has that big spin, hugs that right lane, and then just kind of plows through. Kind of hit pin number 2 from the left side and wiped everything out in the middle. All the edges are still standing except for that 2 pin. Here is Cole Buddy. Buddy over on 13. He takes care of all of them. Aiden Toohey trying to clean up his mess on 14. Missed the head pin. Took out the other 2 and leaves up 3. Ethan Gardner on 13. Leaves up the 10 pin again. Josh Haran down 14 now for O'Fallon. 3, 6, 10 left standing. Ethan Gardner just has to worry about the 10 pin on his side of things. Gardner lets it fly, and Coach Sean Hay kicks it with his right leg. Coach Hay using that body English, trying to help his boys get that pin down, and Josh Haran could only get the 3 pin down. He left the 6 and the 10 up. Here is Eli Hay down 13 for the Kahawks, and he will take care of all. And one gets caught underneath the little sweeper bar. Yep, it went. Strike for O'Fallon on 14. So that leaves it up to Donnie Richards. One more bowler, and we can move on to the 10th. There is Donnie Richards, who bowled a 185 in his first match. Oh, Richards leaves up the 10. Stop that, no yawning. Here's Richards. When have you ever watched someone yawn and then not yawned yourself? Richards takes care of his spare. We head to the 10th. Collinsville up 8:55 to 8:24. So pretty good match going on here as we begin the 10th frame with Ryan Warner on lane 14. Warner. Oh, yeah, he gets them all. For a minute there, I didn't think that 4 pin was going to fall, but one of those pins in the back came back and hit it and took care of it. Meanwhile, over here on 13, Ryan Combe is having a hard time buying a strike in his last couple of frames. Got a 7 and a spare in the 9th. Now he has a 7 to deal with here in the 10th. And a 9 and a spare in the 8th. Meanwhile, Ryan Warner plows them all down again. Ryan Combe trying to pick up his spare on 13 to give himself an extra ball. He will. And one more coming for Ryan Warner, who only needs 4 pins to better his first mark of 219. Warner lets it fly and finishes up with a turkey in the 10th and 5 in a row if you include the 8th and the 9th, and Warner ends up with a 226. Ryan Combe ends up with a 199. So Warner returns the favor after Combe won the first head-to-head battle. Here is Alex Dahl on 14, and he got lucky there. That 10 pin stayed up for a moment. Would have been a 7-10 split, but at the last second, that 10 pin goes down, and Dahl just has to pick up the 7 to get the spare and an extra ball. Here is Tui on 13. He will not be as fortunate. He'll leave a split, the 7-10 plus the 6. Alex Dahl down 14. Picks up his spare. There is Aiden Tui with big time work ahead of him. He'll take out the 10 pin, and that's it. Tui ends up with a 185. Right now, Alex Dahl with a 175 needs a strike. He will. Both end up with 185s, so that's a wash. Here is Josh Haran over on 13, and he has an ugly split, and lots of them, as he wipes out only 4 on the first try, leaves up 6. As Cole Buddy prepares himself on 14, but first, Josh Haran will see if he can deal with that mess he's got down there on 13. It's on the way. He will wipe out the right side, leave up the 4 and the 7. And for Josh Haran, he'll end up with a 210, better than his first mark of a 183. As Cole Buddy picks up a strike down 14. Cameron Rachel down 13. He will pick up a strike. First strike bowled here in the 10th for Collinsville. Cole Buddy is trying to equal his first game as well, and he's already way past that. A 177 in his first match, already at 240 here, and he has a couple more throws coming his way. First one is on the way, and another strike. That for Cole Buddy is his 8th in a row. 8 strike in a row. Colson Mendelson. I knew that was not Cameron Rachel. Buddy, oh yeah. 9 strikes to finish out match number 2 for Cole Buddy, and he ends up with a 270. So far, Collinsville has won 2 head-to-head matchups, with the other one being a wash. And now Ethan Gardner up on 14. Cole Mendelson, by the way, finished up with a 172 in his first one, and Ethan Gardner couldn't get that last pin to drop. Here is Donnie Richards on 13 for O'Fallon. He will leave up 1. Gardner trying to pick up his spare on 14 for an extra throw. He'll pick it off, And now Richards trying the same thing on 13 for O'Fallon. And he missed. Wow. So for Donnie Richards, went from a 185 to a 162. Last bowler of this second match is Eli Hay. Well, after Ethan Gardner throws one more. Excuse me. Gardner launches a missile, leaves up the 10 pin. And for Ethan Gardner, he ends up with a 201. Top bowler in that first match with a 233. But still, the head-to-head matchup is won. And Eli Hay, who has a 150 right now, just needs 12 pins to pass up Donnie Richards to make it 4 out of 5 head-to-head matchups here for Collinsville in this second match. Girls, by the way, are finishing up their 9th frame. Here is Eli Hay. Eli takes care of the first strike. And with that, on the tail end of his strike in the 9th, that gives him 170, so he has already won the head-to-head matchup with Donnie Richards. Just the question is by how much? And Collinsville has already won this match as well. O'Fallon is finished. They have a pin total of 928. Collinsville right now with 1,052, and Eli Hay still has a couple more throws and leaves up the 10 pin on that one. So with this win here in this second match, Collinsville is going to knock off O'Fallon for the first time this year. O'Fallon came in at 10-0. Last throw here of this second match, Eli misses. And his score will stay at a 188, but it's still better than the 162 for Richards. And Collinsville ends up winning this second match, 1,070 pins to 928. The girls are just now beginning their 10th frame, so we'll take our break right here. Come back and talk things over with Coach Sean Hay after the girls' game ends, because he has to take care of all the scores on the girls' side as well. So one more match coming your way, and that'll be coming your way in just a moment here on the Kahok Sports Network.
First National Bank of Waterloo. Visit First National Bank of Waterloo in O'Fallon for your mortgage and lending needs. Why? Super low closing costs, low construction loan rates, and they do so much to support our local communities. When you need a loan, come see Bill Metzger at First National Bank of Waterloo. Call Bill at 618-632-1010 or visit him at 104 Regency Park in O'Fallon or online fnbwaterloo.com. That's my bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. Lakeside Roofing in Collinsville. Let the professionals at Lakeside Roofing protect your most important investment, your home or business. Have the elements taken a toll on your roof system? Notice a leaking roof? Maybe it's time for a free roof inspection. Regular maintenance can extend the life of your roofing system by 10 years or more. Lakeside Roofing is your winning team for commercial and residential roofing systems. Lakeside All-Star professionals have installed, repaired, and maintained hundreds of roofs on both sides of the river. Call Lakeside Roofing today, 618-344-2800, or on the Missouri side, 314-241-5253, or online, lakesideroofing.com. Choose experience, choose Lakeside.
And once again, we welcome you back to Camelot Bowl. I'm Todd Duke, and glad that you're with us here on the Kahok Sports Network. Coach Sean Hay joining us now after the boys were victorious in match number 2. And correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, but that means you just beat O'Fallon for the first time this year, right?
We got to finish it still. We're looking good, but we still got to finish it out.
Boy, I plowed Cole Buddy, man, 9 strikes in a row to end up that second match.
Yeah, he bowled a bad first game, and I left him in because I kind of had a feeling that was coming.
Yeah.
You could just kind of see when people are starting to turn it on, so
and,
I'm glad I left him in.
You left Alex Dolan as well, and he improved also.
Yes, that is true, and you expect a senior to do that too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the girls' match over here is about 3 frames away from an ending, and it's very tight.
It's very, very tight. We're having a little bit better of a 10th frame here, so we're going to see how this ends up. They've got a lot of strikes down low, though, so We got a couple doubles on the other side. Their pins are gonna add up quick.
All right,
so
we'll
we're
talk
gonna
to
have
you.
to stay clean.
All right, we'll talk to you after the next one.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Coach Sean Hay of your Collinsville Kahawks. The boys victorious in their first 2 matches, trying to make sure they finish it up here and knock O'Fallon off for the first time this year. Meanwhile, the girls' game, 882 to 857 with just a couple of frames left. I'm going to step aside for just a second and go take care of some personal business, and we'll come back and tell you all about this final matchup between Collinsville and O'Fallon. We'll do that in a moment here on the Kahawk Sports Network. All right, Todd Duke back with you. We have some changes to tell you about. We'll do that here as soon as I get myself resituated and caught up here with the girls' side of things. Ooh, this is going to be really close. Collinsville right now trailing by 2 pins with each team with their final bowler left. Not sure what the head-to-head matchups are over here on the girls' side, but that is a very interesting finish. I'll catch you up here on the boys in just a second. We're still in the beginnings of this third match. They're in the middle of frame number 2. There's the young lady for O'Fallon on 15, and she picks up a strike. Crystal Buckman did not on 16, so looks like Collinsville may be in a little bit of trouble here. But Crystal Buckman does pick up her spare on 16, so she'll have at least one more coming. The young lady here for O'Fallon had a strike after an open frame in the 9th, so she has 2 more coming. As she gives way for Josh Herron over here on 14 for O'Fallon. He leaves up 1. So now the young lady for O'Fallon on 15. She has 2 throws left. And here's the first one. She will leave up 2. So Crystal Buckman needs a couple of strikes, or well, she only has 1 ball left. She needs a big time strike here. Buckman down 16. She'll leave up 1. Ends up with a 200. Final throw here for the young lady from O'Fallon. She'll take care of that spare. And we await the final score. Collinsville squeaks out that win just barely. 973 to 960. So Fallon won the first matchup of the girls. Collinsville wins the second one. Kahoks have won both the first and the second matchups over here on the boys' side, as we have completed 2 frames. And right now, Collinsville up by 2 pins, 139 to 137. Here is Ryan Warner. Warner had a 219 in his first game and a 226 in his second. Third frame begins with a strike for Collinsville. We have new players for O'Fallon. Aiden Toohey has already gone. No, wait a minute. Thought he said Aiden Toohey was first. We have Jacob Horton and Caleb Horton. Here is Alex Dahl for Collinsville on 14. And he'll leave up 7. Says the second bowler is Jacob Horton for O'Fallon. He'll leave up 1. The ladies just now beginning game number 3. Boys are 2 bowlers into frame number 3 of game number 3. Here is Alex Dahl. And Dahl will pick up his spare. Jacob Horton takes care of his on 13. That'll bring up Cole Buddy. Buddy, fire last game. 9 straight strikes to end that second game. He ended up with a 270. So far, that's the highest of this match between Collinsville and O'Fallon for either team. Here is Caleb Horton now for O'Fallon on 13, and he'll take out 7, leave up 3. Cole Buddy over on 14 trying to pick up his spare. He does. Caleb Horton on 13 for O'Fallon trying to do the same, and he also picks up his spare. Here is Ethan Gardner for Collinsville on 14. Gardner takes out the middle. 2 on the left, 2 on the right, still standing. Josh Haran picks up a strike for O'Fallon over on 13. While Ethan Gardner gets ready to try to pick up his spare on 14. Here is his effort. He'll take out 1. Let's thank Metro East Roofing and Guttering, locally owned and operated since 1987 by brothers and Kahok alums Tony and Corey Jones. Metro East Roofing and Guttering can help with your roofing, guttering, and siding needs. They're located at 1231 Lebanon Road in Collinsville. Metro East Roofing and Guttering is the hometown company that you know and you trust. Give them a call, 618-345-5679 today for your free estimate, and visit their Facebook page at Metro East Roofing and Guttering. Eli Hay has started off with a turkey. Well, not started off, but yeah, first 3. Yeah, it is started off. I thought we were in the 4th. Never mind. I was right the first time. Eli started off with 6 straight strikes in the first match and then got kind of robbed by the bowling gods and was given a couple of splits on the next 2 frames after the 6 straight strikes. Strike. Well, I was told that Aiden Toohey was the first bowler for O'Fallon, but that is not Aiden Toohey for Collinsville. Back-to-back strikes by Warner and Nathan Hay will bring up Cole Buddy here in just a moment. And a gutter ball after a little slip and a fall there by Jacob Horton. And he slipped and fell, and his leg went across the line as well, so that's considered a foul. Cole Buddy over on 13 for Collinsville. Looking for his first strike here in this 3rd match after finishing the last one with 9, and there it is. And now it's up to Ethan Gardner. Gardner down 13. Takes care of all of them. Here is Jacob Horton on 14, hoping for a little bit of better luck this go around. That looks a lot better. He'll salvage something out of it, while Eli Hay has won both of his head-to-head matches. So is Gardner. Hay with a 217 in his first match, dropped down to a 188 in his second, but he just picks up strike number 4, and he starts off this game like he started off match number 1. Nothing but strikes. Made it up to 6 straight in that first match. Now he's up to 4 in a row here on this second one. Here is Caleb Horton on 14 for O'Fallon. Caleb Horton ready now, down 14. He picks up his spare. Collinsville struck out the 4th. Warner, Dahl, Buddy, Gardner, and Hay all with strikes in that 4th frame. So they finish up rather quickly. 2 more bowlers left to go here for O'Fallon in this 4th frame. The first one being Josh Sharon. He'll leave up a couple. We have a good one lined up for you tomorrow. Back on the ice for the first time in 2019. We have not seen the boys or the girls play on the hockey team since the end of December, right before the holiday tournament. So we're back at it tomorrow, and like I said, it's going to be a good one. It's a battle for first place. Collinsville won last night over Bethalto, 9-0, so that made them 15-1 on the year, good for 30 points, and that ties them with Freeburg-Waterloo, also 15-1, and also with 30 points. And tomorrow, guess what? Those 2 teams hook up. And we'll have that game for you. That's a 9 o'clock late start from the McKendree Recplex over in O'Fallon. We'll try to be on the air around 8:45. A little bit easier from O'Fallon to get in and get set up while the first game was going on because there's more room than at the Granite City or the Alton ice rink when you have to wait for the game to end before you can bring your stuff in to set up. So we should be able to get on about 8:45 with the pregame show. And then face-off scheduled for 9 o'clock. Ryan Warner picks up a strike on 14 for Collinsville, and he is matched over on 13 by O'Fallon. Here is Dahl, and on 14, he leaves that 10-pin standing. We're in the 5th on the boys' side. Girls' side just beginning the 3rd. And right now, Collinsville trailing 184 to 180, but very early in that matchup. And Collinsville needs to pick up the win in that second match on the Lady Kahok side of things to pull out the victory, because they split their first 2 games. O'Fallon winning the first one, Collinsville winning the second one. On the boys' side, it's been all Collinsville. They've won both the first 2 matches and going for the sweep and trying to handle Fallon their first loss of the year. And Caleb Holton will help those matters out for the Kahawks, as he is left with a split over on 13. Here is Cole Buddy on 14 in the 5th frame, and he strikes. Back-to-back strikes now for Cole. There's Caleb Horton down 13 for O'Fallon, and he'll only be able to pick up that 7-pin. Couldn't quite get that 4-pin in there as well. Here is Josh Herron on 13 for O'Fallon. He'll take care of 7 of the 10. Meanwhile, Ethan Gardner down 14 for Collinsville. He will also take care of most of the left side. Leaves up the 6 and the 10 on the right side, while Josh Herron left up the 3, 6, and the 10. He's going to go for his strike right now on 13. It's on the way and good for a spare. Strike, spare, and then a spare for Josh Herron. Here's Gardner, and he can only pick off that 10-pin. Left that 6 standing. Donnie Richards down 13 for O'Fallon. He'll leave 1 standing. Eli Hay will line things up on 14 here in just a second. Eli riding 4 straight strikes, make it 5. Richards for O'Fallon picks up his spare on 13, and that concludes the first 5 frames here in this final matchup between Collinsville and O'Fallon. And right now, Collinsville out front, 491 to 444. Ryan Warner down 13 with a strike. Let's thank another sponsor. How about that? How about the Junior Service Club of Collinsville? They have been doing their thing since 1934. The Junior Service Club has been providing women in the community an opportunity to make a difference with fundraisers and projects, all that go help the needy in Collinsville. If you would like any information on any event coming up, simply go to Facebook, type in Collinsville Junior Service Club, and that will take you to their Facebook page. And if they have anything going on, it'll always be listed on the Facebook page. Big thank you to the Collinsville Junior Service Club. The ladies have been one of our sponsors since the beginning of KahawkSports.com, and we certainly do appreciate it. Here is Cole Buddy down 13 for the Kahawks, and another strike. A turkey for Cole. Bowled a 270 his last time out. There's Jacob Horton on 14, who left 1 up. Here is Ethan Gardner down 13 for Collinsville. He'll leave 1 up as well. Well, there's a sleeper over there on the other side for Jacob Horton. Didn't see that at first. But the 3 and the 9 are sitting right there. Jacob Horton for O'Fallon. Going to be off, yep. Once that hits the left side of that head pin, that kicks the ball away from that tailing pin and kicks the pin away from that tailing pin. Gardner will take care of his lone ball still left up there and picks himself up a spare. Here is Caleb Horton for O'Fallon, down 14. Takes care of the left side, leaves the right side standing. Eli Hay on lane 13 for Collinsville. Lets it fly. And leaves one. Eli ready down 13 to pick up his spare. It's on the way and good. Caleb Horton trying to pick up his spare on 14, left that 10 pin standing there. And that brings up Josh Sharon on 14. Strike. Oh, I'm all right. I was just looking. Here on 14 is Donnie Richards. Collinsville's finished up. Eli could not continue his strikes. It ends with 5 in a row in this game as Donnie Richards ends up with a strike on 14 to end the 6th frame. After 6, Collinsville up by 60. They have an even 600, while O'Fallon has 540. Still a long way to go. We're through 6. We get ready to start number 7. They are through 4 on the girls' side. And right now, Collinsville up 320 to 302. Here is Ryan Warner. Warner will start off the 7th with a strike. Whew. Okay, so that is Aiden. So who was the guy I was talking about in the first two matchups? I don't know. So I apologize to any of the parents out there if, for one, I've butchered your kid's name, or for 2, I have gotten the name wrong. So that is Aiden Toohey. I don't even know who the other kid was that was throwing in that the first couple of games. Well, such is the life of a broadcaster. On 13, Jacob Horton for O'Fallon. Takes care of his lone pin. Trying to do the same on 14 is Alex Dahl for Collinsville. He does as well. There's Caleb Horton. He leaves up a sleeper on 13. Cole Buddy over on 14, ready for his first throw here in this 7th. Leaves up 2. Caleb Horton trying to pick up that sleeper, will only get the front pin. On 13, that is Josh Haran. He's good for a strike. Cole Buddy trying to pick up his spare on 14. He will not. Hit that front pin just a little bit too much right on the front. A little bit off to the left, and we would have been talking spare. Here's Donnie Richards for O'Fallon on 13. He'll take care of a strike. Ethan Gardner on 14 for the Kahawks. And a split. Double pins on each side. O'Fallon finished with their 7th frame. They stand at 619 right now. Collinsville stands at 688, and that's with one more throw coming from Ethan Gardner, and then, of course, Eli Hay needs to throw. Here is Gardner in his attempt at this split. He'll take care of the two on the right, leave the two on the left up, and Eli Hay will become the final bowler here in frame number 7 of game number 3. Eli had his 5 straight strikes snapped last frame and will not be able to start another one this frame. Leaves up the 3-6-10 on the right side. And here's his attempt at that spare. It'll be good. After 7 in the books, Collinsville out front, 7:07 to 6:19. Hockey coming up for you tomorrow. Collinsville versus Freeburg-Waterloo. Battle for first place. Both teams deadlocked at 15-1 with 30 points. Again, 8:45 pregame, 9 o'clock faceoff, and then Friday we end the week with a big Southwestern Conference matchup as E.J. Liddell, Lawrence Brazil, and Mr. Randolph and company will host your Collinsville Kahawks as the Belleville West Maroons take on Collinsville in a boys basketball game. Collinsville only 3 losses on the year. Belleville West has yet to lose. So a good couple of matches coming up for you Thursday and Friday. We end the week in fine fashion, I think. Should be a lot of fun tonight and tomorrow. That was a nice try on that split attempt there by Aiden Toohey. Tried to nick that ball on the left-hand side, slide it on over, but he just missed. Here is Cole Buddy for Collinsville on 13. He's good for a strike. Jacob Horton on 14 for O'Fallon. He's good for a strike. Cole Buddy is ready to go on 13 for Collinsville. And he does as well. Here is Caleb Horton for O'Fallon. He'll leave one up. We were on a roll there. Strike after strike after strike. They're still bowling down to the other end of the bowling alley too. That is Muscuda and Triad. Here is Eli, who leaves 3 grouped right there in the middle on lane 13. Caleb Horton. Not sure what happened there. Whole new set of pins came down, and see he still had one. Oh, he had a foul. Okay. Now I see the F. They have these screens that pop up over the screen that shows replays and shows the pins being wiped out, and then also shows you a graphic of where you're supposed to hit the next pin in case you need to pick up a spare, and it blocks out all the scoring. So I have to wait sometimes for those things to go away before I can actually tell you what's going on, but what's going on is Caleb Horton fouled on his first shot, got 8 down on his second. So here is Josh Haran on 14 for O'Fallon. Collinsville's already finished with the 8th frame. And a strike for Haran will turn things over to Donnie Richards. And Haran just picked up his 4th in a row. And Richards coming up now. Now, I was off a little bit. Now, he'll take care of all of them and send us to the 8th, or send us to the 9th, excuse me, after 8 frames, as Richards just picked up a turkey as well. Collinsville leads 794 to 723 2 frames left. We'll switch things over. And Aiden Toohey will lead us off over on 13, I believe. Well, no. Time Sampson's going to throw down 15, and Ryan Warner will step up and throw it down 14. He'll take care of all but one. Now Aiden Toohey on 13. Nine on the first throw there by Ryan Warner. That ends 8 frames in a row. I didn't even notice that. He was working on a perfect game. 8 frames in a row he had a strike, and then he gets to the 9th and hits 9 of the 10 and picks up the spare. Right now standing at 239, getting high fives from everyone. See, that's what happens when you put these little screens up there and I can't see the actual scores. And believe me, these little small screens stay up there a lot. You have the replay of the bowler, then you have the how many miles per hour was it, then you have the replay of the ball striking the pins, then you have the graphic pop up to let you know what pins are left and the placement that you need to make to throw the ball to get a spare. Now, if there's a strike, then you don't have that, but still there's enough popping and screen poppage up. I really sometimes get lost on the what's going on category. At any rate, nice job there by Ryan Warner, who bowled a 226 his last time up after a 219 in his first game. A chance to break the 270. That's been the high mark of the night by Cole Buddy. That came in the second game for Collinsville. Gardner will have a chance to flirt with that if he has a good 10th frame. Here is Cole Buddy. He picks up a spare over on 14. Josh Haran down 13. Leaves up 2. Ethan Gardner on 14 for Collinsville. Ooh, gets them all at that last minute. That 5-pin goes down. On the girls' side, they're just starting the 7th. Collinsville trailing O'Fallon 538 to 526. So if the Kahoks want to pull out a victory on the girls' side, Lady Kahoks are going to have to do it in comeback style. Haran picks up a spare. Here is Eli Hay. Eli started this game off with 5 straight strikes, then 3 straight spares, and now back in the strike department. Donnie Richards, the last bowler here in the 9th on lane 13. And he will finish up with a strike. That's 4 in a row for him and 7 in the game. So we switch sides for the final time. Collinsville will go and finish out over on lane 13, while O'Fallon will finish out on 14. Here is Ryan Warner. Warner takes care of it. We'll pick up a couple of extras here in this 10th frame. Aiden Toohey leaves himself a split and a sleeper. He's got the 1, 2, 8. The 2 and the 8 being the sleepers. And then the 10 pin tucked off there in the corner. Ryan Warner, his second throw, and he'll leave one up. Toohey will throw a gutter ball. And Toohey is finished. 207. So Ryan Warner has already bested that. And his final throw will result in a spare, and Mr. Ryan Warner will end up with a 269, 1 pin behind Cole Buddy for the high of the day. Here is Jacob Horton for O'Fallon, down 14. He leaves one up. Alex Dahl on 13 for Collinsville. He will knock them all down. Collinsville looks like they're going to hold on and win this match here and take all 3 from O'Fallon. for Alex Dahl. That is a turkey, and he still has 2 more throws coming here in this 10th frame. Here's the first. Another strike. And here is Jacob Horton for O'Fallon on lane 14, trying to pick up his spare. He will. He'll have 1 more. Alex Dahl. Yeah, don't even see him. Oh, there he is. Getting a talking to by Coach Hay over there. Final throw coming up for Jacob Horton here in this 3rd and final game of the night, and he'll end it with 9 pins down. And he will end up with a 174. Final throw. Ends up as a strike. 5 straight strikes. I believe that was P.J. Tottlebun who threw that final ball for Dahl. Dahl ends up with a 225. Here is Caleb Horton on 14. He'll leave up 1. Cole Buddy steps up on 13 for Collinsville. Has the high score of the day at 270 in game number 2, and he will leave himself a split over here on 13. That's going to be tough to pick up. Not impossible, but tough. Horton trying to pick up his spare on 14. He will. 4 and the 10 are left over here for Cole Buddy. He needs to hit that 4 pin just on the left-hand side and send it over into that corner for pin number 10. Just now starting the 8th on the girls' side. 600 for Collinsville, 657 for O'Fallon. Here is Cole Buddy. He'll try that. Oh, just missed on that left-hand side of that 4, so that'll do it for Cole, and he will end up with a 180. That was Caleb Horton, and here is Ethan Gardner on 13. Horton left 2 up. Gardner knocks them all down on 13. And for Gardner, I'm waiting for the thing to disappear over here. That is a turkey, 3 in a row. Here is Josh Huron. After Caleb Horton bowls a 180, or excuse me, a 113. And Ethan Gardner picks up another strike. That's 5 in a row for him. Josh Huron will only get 1 of the 3. Here is Eli Hay. Well, actually, I think that's Nathan throwing the final ball in there for Mr. Gardner. And that will allow 6 strikes in a row on Gardner's name. And a 192. Final bowlers are stepping up. Here is Donnie Richards on 14 for O'Fallon. That's in there for a strike. Eli Hay, who had 5 in a row to start this match off, had 6 in a row at the beginning match of the day, only hits 8 on this try. Richards working on a strike on his first throw in the 10th. Will now take throw number 2. It's on the way. And this time he leaves up 2. That's exactly what is down there for Eli Hay on 13. He tries to pick up a spare to have one more throw, and he will. So one more throw coming from each player. It'll be Donnie Richards first. Richards having a very good third game, 185 in his first game, 162 in his second, right now at 255 with this final throw. He'll take care of that spare. Eli Hay, one final throw for him as well, and he will end on a high note and a strike. Richards ends up with a 257. Eli ends up with a 233. Collinsville wins 1,099 pins to 951 for O'Fallon. They never did get over 1,000 pins in all three of their matches. So that is going to do it for the boys' coverage. The girls are still going at it. They are at the beginning of the 9th frame. Collinsville trailing 759 to 657. The boys are finished, and that means we welcome you into the Cullip Jennings Florist post-game show. Cullip Jennings Florist, a staple in the Collinsville area, has been for generations. Cullip Jennings Florist is located at 517 West Clay Street. You can stop in for weekly specials. Right now they're focusing already on Valentine's Day. That's right, boys. Don't be late. Don't be the procrastinator. The missus won't like it. Give them a call at Cullip Jennings Florist at 344-0404, online at cullipjennings.com. Coach Sean Hain joins us now on the post-game show. That was a very well put-together matchup for your boys over there, wasn't it?
Yeah, they O'Fallon had a little bit of trouble in that last game, but yeah, they did pretty well. We had obviously Ryan was trying to go out the regular season with a bang, and Eli was also trying to do his best. But yeah, overall we had a good team win.
Yeah, and you are in charge of your own game. The Kahawks can do what the Kahawks can do, and then O'Fallon does what they do. And coming in, I would venture to say they probably haven't gone a whole match where they have not even hit 1,000 pins in all three of their games.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know what if it was in a more difficult house or one that doesn't necessarily match up to their game like Alton.
So tell me how this helps the psyche of your boys going into regionals on Saturday.
Just relax. Absolutely relax. That's what we want. That's if you remember back, we came out and watched us bowl against Alton. You mentioned how relaxed our bowlers were. Now for the first 4 or 5 frames of this match, the whole match, they weren't. And then you saw it change and you saw it shift. So as long as we're just relaxed and having a good time, we're going to throw good shots, take bad breaks in stride, and then just go forward from there.
Yeah, you guys had some pretty good games tonight. You got some streaks going with a lot of strikes in a row. Eli had those 6 in a row to start off the first match. You had Ryan Warner here with 8 in a row to end this game or to begin this game. Right. So it seems to me like you are trending in the right direction.
I would like to think so, yeah. They've been bowling well.
All right, the girls, they're a little mixed bag. They lost the first one, won the second one, and they're in a battle here on the third one.
Yeah, and that's really what we want. We want to be in the mix. We're a little bit low on this one. They're really putting up some good scores this game. And to be honest, their team is all juniors and seniors. We're mainly sophomores.
Right.
We got a couple seniors, but we're mainly sophomores. And it's one of those things where, their experience is really helping them out throughout this whole season, even last season. So our girls are also trending in the right direction. We're getting some bigger scores here and there, but we're making some sophomore mistakes. And like I said, I've got the rest of this season to get them ready for the playoffs and hopefully get those out of their system.
So we know that the boys take their playoff plunge on Saturday. What's up next for the girls after tonight?
The girls will be bowling next week. I believe we have a match on Monday. Excuse me. I've been ill. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. I do it all the time.
We have a match, I believe, on Monday. Give me a second. Take a look. But I do know we have the conference tournament, the four set tournament. That should be coming up next week as well.
So on the boys' side, you kind of split that up at the beginning and then in the middle of the year, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, sorry. Next Monday, we actually have practice. And then Wednesday, we have it versus Alton.
You actually have, you say that like you never have practice.
Well, it's rare this time of year because of where the holidays fell.
Yeah.
We had our first practice this week. So for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not normal for us.
All right, well, thank you much for the visit, and I'm sorry we had to cut the season short a little bit due to some scheduling conflicts, but we'll be back with you next year. But please let us know how things go on Saturday, okay?
Sure, absolutely, and we appreciate all you do.
Sure, thank you. That is head coach Sean Hay of your Collinsville Kahok, both the boys and the girls bowling teams. We thank him, and we thank the teams and everything that they do for Collinsville. And believe me, I like coming out here and doing some bowling. Number one, it's indoors. Always like that. And number two, yeah, I was known to bowl back in the day. I was also pretty good at it, too. So I enjoy some bowling. Anyway, that's going to do it for us for this one. We'll post, of course, the women's finals on the Facebook page at the end instead of just hanging around for another 15 or 20 minutes to find out what happened. So you'll have to go to the Facebook page to find out. But the boys win. They take all 3 games from O'Fallon and hand the O'Fallon Panthers their first loss of the year after a 10-0 season. Comes to a close at 10-1 for O'Fallon, and Collinsville, they improved to 9-2 on the year as both teams get ready to head into postseason play. Again, hockey for you tomorrow. We are live from the McKendree Recplex at 9 o'clock game time, 8:45 pregame show. Collinsville and Freeburg Waterloo in a showdown for first place. And then, of course, Friday we have the big basketball game between Collinsville and Belleville West on the road at Belleville West. So until tomorrow night, my name is Todd Duke. Everyone, have yourselves a fantastic evening.